Good. Want to give a little quick shout out to my baby girl.
Happy birthday, Sid.
Sydney is 30 years old today.
Wow.
Happy birthday, Sid.
It went by so
Happy
quickly.
birthday, beautiful girl.
Welcome to your new decade, baby.
Wow, that's true.
I know,
A
right?
whole new decade.
We the same age now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right, guys.
We got our in-person coming up.
We do.
And man.
And we have a venue.
Man.
We do.
Man, this is going to be
Rooftop.
nice.
Rooftop. We're going to take advantage of Indian summer.
Yes, indoor and outdoor. So just in case it's nice out, we'll have the option to go outside. So, care to share movie phone voice?
Sure. 1000 Lake Street, Oak Park, Illinois. And the interesting thing is that when you and I were there scouting a location, I was able to kind of take some pictures, and I posted those pictures, and everyone thought I was out of town.
Yeah. I had posted some pictures in my stories, and my best friend Kim reached out to me and was like, "Where are you?" Like, I'm here in Chicago. Yeah.
I'm out west.
Yeah, because it's beautiful.
It truly
Bring the
is.
microphone over there towards you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
Very beautiful, very scenic. So we're excited about it. It's October 26th from 4 to 7 p.m., 1000 Lake Street in Oak Park. So put that in pen in your calendar.
I haven't been on a rooftop all summer, so I'm super excited.
It's going to be a great time.
It's really nice.
I know that we have some exciting topics.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Exciting is a understatement.
So it's going to really be a good time. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Me too. Yep.
Same. So listen, tonight let's get into it. We are talking about, are there any good people left? Are there any good people left to date?
You know how many times I get asked this question or told something about, like, I don't think there's any good people left?
I know.
I hear it all the time.
All the time.
from people.
I hear it. I see it on social media. The question, like, oh, are there any good people? Is everybody taken? Is everybody married? Well,
And what's left out there? These wackos.
Well, I think, and I was kind of the impetus for this question because if there are none left, if we say that there are none left, what do we do? What's our next move? Do we continue to look? Do we continue to, scour the divorce ad? I mean, where how does this work? If there are no more, let's presume that there are no good people left. So what's our next move?
So I will presume that there are fewer left, but I'm not going to presume that there are.
No, but I'm hypothetically, if there are no good people left, what is our next move?
Well, then you got to go to science and you got to clone somebody.
Date trees.
Date yourself.
I never knew that you and Greenpeace had this relationship.
Be a tree
if there
hugger
were
for real.
nobody left in the world,
Yeah.
you go to science at that point.
And I mean, I
Live
asked that.
happily ever after by yourself.
I asked that question because, we know the age-old adage that you can't continue to do the same thing and expect different results.
Mm-hmm.
And, we hear all the time people talking about there are no good people left. And, I mean, I've said that on occasion. And, if there are, or if there are very few, and you all are very well versed in, it's a numbers game. The more you know what you want, the less people there are to fit into what that is. Mm-hmm. So how do, my next question after we figure out if there are good people left or not would be, how do we find these people? What do we do? How do we make it better?
Well,
Go ahead.
I don't want to get too far
off the topic.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to give the topic a chance. But if we are out here in the world and you're looking for a mate, I feel like you have to do a better job of qualifying people first and foremost. Before we say that there are no good people left, I feel like the numbers game, as you put it, I feel like the single people that are out there, you probably have a lot of people that are single for a reason. that they may have been undateable for whatever reason in the past. And so for the single people, either on dating apps or just trying to meet people out and about, I feel like you need to do a much better and thorough job of vetting them, first and foremost. And I feel like if you don't, you're more likely to meet what I hear out there is the wackos,
Crumbs,
right? Yeah, or the people who they're undateable because they have proven themselves to be either unstable, ineligible because they're probably not single, or there's something really
Vetting
wrong
is very
with them.
important.
Yeah, it is important.
It is so important.
I mean, it's important in any kind of relationship.
Yes.
Actually, if you're even meeting a new guy friend or a new girlfriend,
yeah.
why are you looking for friends at this age? I mean, honestly, that's a fair question. Like, why do you have all this free time and no one to fill it with? You need me, but I don't want to digress too much. So,
Well, I think there are good people left. I think our perception sometimes when we go through a bad experience is that there are no good people, or when we hear people talking about there are no good people. So then we start to think, it's not just me. So and so says it, and so says it. So then you start to think, well, there are no good people because your brain has received this negative information. So we process it and internalize it, and then we say, yeah, there are no good people because we've been hearing it. And then there's so much negativity on social media, on the television media. Is just so your brain is ready to suck in all the negative information about dating as well. So we're just sponges. We're programming ourselves to see the negative. But I think that there are some good people left.
I think that there is certainly a narrative that is created because we all have a really, really good friend that is a really, really good person, and they just got drugged, and it hurts. It hurts you to see them go through that because they are such a good person, and somebody just really took advantage of that, and it skews, for me, it skews everything because it's like, wow, how could something so bad happened to such a good person? Mm-hmm. And I mean, in theory, I guess that person is available, but it's very hard sometimes. It's hard to have a level head about it. It's hard to continue to believe in the process because you see it, and it's almost like when you meet a good person, or even if you hear about somebody else meeting a good person, you're still kind of guarded. Like, when is the rug going to be snatched from under me?
That's true, especially if you've just been burned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're scarred.
Yeah.
And it hurts.
Yeah.
But just to take a step back,
mm-hmm.
like the topic, good/eligible people left, are there any? Like, good and eligible, for me, it's black and white. But it may not be black and white for everybody. So if we had to deconstruct that a little bit, for me, you can give your opinion too. For me, I would say good and eligible would be, well, first, let's just start with eligible. You're not married and you're not living with someone. You're not in a relationship. Someone doesn't think that you're in a relationship with them. All of the above, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're divorced, there's some papers and it has a seal on it. That's the first and foremost. But good would be, for me,
preferably from 8 or 9 months ago, too.
Exactly. Not yesterday. And the ink is still wet. But good. Like, you have a good heart. You have a good relationship with your mom. You haven't, murdered.
Not a serial killer.
Right. 5 people, and, you are someone who is trustworthy and communicative.
Right.
All the things that you think you would desire for yourself, for your child, those are like the things that I would say would make you a good person. Mm-hmm. But just because you're eligible, you aren't a good person always. And just because you're a good person, you aren't eligible. So putting those two in the same category sometimes may be very difficult for people to get everything in one thing. And this is why I feel like people start to make concessions. Like, well, I got 8 out of 10, damn.
And I can understand that because nobody's perfect. It's going to be very difficult to make a checklist of the things that you want in a mate and find that all in one person. And I think that may be unrealistic to think, okay, these are the 20 requirements or the 15 requirements I have to have in order to date this person. But if somebody says, okay, I'm dating someone, but he has 11 of them, I would be like, okay.
Except if he has little kids, then you're like, that's
number one of those. And she's saying that because I met someone. I did. I met someone.
I just be telling all your business. I'm sorry, y'all.
Y'all gonna slip up and name names one day.
And I met someone, and very nice guy, eligible. Until he said, because he's an attorney, until he said he was thinking about coaching. I was like, coaching? I said, and he's tall. So I thought, like coaching basketball or soccer. So he was like, oh, soccer. I was like, oh, okay, play soccer. He's like, I used to, for whatever school he went to, some Ivy League school. We were talking about that. So then he says, I said, so coaching on the high school level, like in addition to like what you're doing, or you want to retire and coach? He's like, no, I have a 10-year-old. Record scratch. You have a what? I said, you have a 10-year-old? He's like, yeah. Is that a problem? I said, yeah, it kind of is. It is. And so I just thought, as nice of a guy as I thought he was, no, seriously, I am not going to get involved with somebody who has a 10-year-old. And he was like, well, you don't like kids? I said, no, I have 2 kids, but they're adults. I have one who's 29 and one who's 25. And I said I had to explain to him, you go through phases in life, everybody's graduating from school or pledging and then getting married or having kids and getting divorced, and we're taking care of our parents. I said, we're in the age now, we're taking care of our parents. Parents are passing away, and we're in the phase of life where we're settling and we're looking forward to grandchildren if we don't already have them.
Right.
So I am not in the phase of life where I'm thinking like, I'm almost 60. I'm not raising any more kids. I don't care about the zoo. I don't want to go to see the Disney movies.
I want to do puberty all over again.
I've done all of that.
Yeah.
And so he was like, oh, so you're just going to pass on? Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Because why get involved with someone and you're the whole time thinking, God, he has a No, I'm not. So he tried to shame me. He tried to, make me feel guilty. Well, I just, I said, I just want one man. I want to settle down with one person, travel with that one person. And that's what I want, to live out my golden years with one person. He was like, well, I want that too. I said, you have a 10-year-old. You can't move like I move, because you have to consider like her soccer games and her schedule, and you can't say you can't just leave the house because you got a little, I don't know what her name is.
No, please don't say her name.
No, but little Susie, you can't just leave. You can't leave a 10-year-old at home.
Yeah.
So I can't even say long story short because I know it's too late for that. But I damn near hung up. I was like, yeah, it's not. And he was still trying to plead his case. We're not doing this. So
I commend you on that part.
Yeah,
you know what your non-negotiables
I know
are.
that's not going to work for me.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the honesty, and the forthrightness of you to just say it right there in that instance, because that's a prime opportunity to ghost somebody.
Yeah, and well, ghosting is rude and immature. But
we know that.
Yeah, but and I'm not saying I've always been like a perfect angel, but I will try to tell you this is how I feel, and then I don't know if you call that ghosting, but if I try to explain it to you, like, this ain't working.
But a person ghosting in that instance, and I hate to cut you off, but ghosting in that instance is a 10-year-old. Wow. Okay. Man, I'm gonna holler back. And never, nothing.
Well, let's see if we can marry the two here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, personally, I feel like ghosting is wrong. I feel like it's not a nice thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
However, we're in the conversation of, are there any good people left? Are there any eligible people left. And I had already touched on a little bit. Sometimes people aren't just like screwed real tight up there.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like if someone is, let's say you're going to meet someone and everything seems nice day one.
Everything always seems nice day one.
And day two,
No, it doesn't.
they are starting to like you said, you want this and you want someone that you can do this with, just one person. But that person is moving like y'all have been in a relationship for the last 3 months on day two. And they don't give you an opportunity to like them. And Gary, you've said time and time again, the women do the choosing. You know, men can only mess it up. Well, there are men that mess things up. Because you have like in your mind or like manufactured this relationship and you're projecting.
You're my woman.
And you're not. You're being spooky and scary. And spooky and scary, and even though I'm not a big cheerleader for ghosting, sometimes you got to just disappear on somebody to be like, you aren't going to force me to have a conversation because you keep calling. So you don't pay my phone bill.
So then wouldn't you just say, hey, listen, this isn't working. And
so maybe yes to that question. Maybe the answer is yes. Maybe you could just do that. But if someone is incessantly calling you or texting you back to back and they don't give you an opportunity to do that, you will start to say, like, I mean, I could pick up the phone and do this.
I'm not going to answer my phone.
I'm not going to allow for you to
bully
take
me
agency over my right of way. Like, I get to choose when I want to do things. And then there's a sequence of things that can make you switch from, I could do that, to, I'm not going to fucking do that. I'm just not going to do that.
Okay. So listen, the other side of that coin
Which makes me say that person is not eligible. Back to
and they're nuts.
Cross them
But see, like I always tell my kids, well, I used to when they were younger, crazy people will hurt you. If you make people crazy, crazy people can hurt you. I think when people that live in close proximity to you, like in the same city or in the same county or whatever, and there's a chance that you might see them again, that's why I would just opt to say and be honest, this isn't working. Like, this is never going to work. So we should probably end this here. Because I wouldn't want to see somebody and then they're like ranting and raving like a lunatic, like, you didn't call me, you blocked me, you blah blah blah, because folks snap off.
I mean, I think that people can be triggered either way. I think that people can be triggered by being ghosted. I think that people can trigger by that you give it, you telling them, hey, this stop right there, nope, we're not doing this.
But if you're honest with people, unless they're just like,
I mean, you're thinking from a rational point of view.
I am.
And when you are trying to make your rational point of view,
but we're talking about people,
the irrational,
right? We're talking about other people. For you, you're going to do the right thing. You are a very sane person. But unfortunately, in this dating pool that we find ourselves in at different points, not everybody is. Yeah. And either action could trigger them. The honesty that you might give them, or the lack of any communication that Janae might give them might be triggering to a person. And there are people out here that they are mentally deficient. So we're not psychologists. We don't know how to play it, and you have to kind of do it by ear. What I hear you all saying is that this is what you would do, this is what you would do. And
I'm not saying that I wouldn't do what you said you should do, because I believe that that's the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. But I also can understand if someone says, I'm not going to do that because you're trying to make me do something. You're trying to force me and coerce me to do something. And then I think when you give an inch, people will take a mile. And the craziest person out there in the world has got to know there's somebody crazier.
It's funny because there is a religion, and I won't name it, but in that religion, when a person dies, the elders, if you will, kind of get together and say, well, that's very unfortunate about whatever, but this new person, you know, and they hook them up, and they do it within the confines of the church.
So that person is no longer
Single.
lonely, or
Yeah, so I mean, when we ask the question, are there any good people left? You know, it's kind of like they're working against us. We don't even get a fair shot because you know that we look up and this person is off the market. I'm like, hey, what?
And that happens in like friend circles too. You see that. I was just talking to a client who was telling me a story that she went to a party and the person who had the party had a partner for a long time, but she passed away. But within like the next party time, one of the people from the friend circles was already jumped on it, filled this position just that quickly. And he's a good guy, attractive guy, nice guy, but she knew that. And she was like, well, she's gone and we're single.
I'm here.
Right, hello.
My uncle Pat, my uncle was married to my aunt, of course. And my uncle, when my aunt passed, I mean, it had to have been at the funeral. Because, I mean, like 2 months later, he was married to this other person.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, according to what I was privy to, you know, this hadn't been something that was ongoing. And it just kind of, and I mean, and you all know this about me. I feel like there are people that they're always going to be somebody's spouse. They're just wired like that. But I don't know that my uncle was that person, but this was something that was definitely politicked through that church. And I was like, wow, that was fast, Unc.
Well, some churches do believe that, you know, a man who findeth a wife
findeth a good thing.
And so if that person is already part of the body, you know, then you found you a good Christian woman or a good whatever the faith is, and they don't have to do a whole bunch of
and that was part of it too, was to keep it within the faith.
Right.
So, you know, but it was a little off-putting because I'm still kind of, you know, feeling how I feel about my aunt.
Auntie. Right.
Now I got a new auntie, and I'm like
2 months later.
Right, and it was really complicated.
What do I call you?
No, it was really complicated because they both had the same name.
Oh, goodness.
Wow. Well, there was no Freudian slips there.
Yes, but I mean, I just met you. I ain't calling you auntie.
Right.
You know, you that lady from the church. I'm gonna keep you where you at,
Miss
Miss Church Lady. So I mean, but when you look at, you know, the pool that's out there and you say, well, man, I want to hold out for what I want. I want a good person. And as we get older, we know more what we want. You know,
Absolutely.
Our BS detectors are like, you know, at an all-time high. You know, you see BS like coming down the street like.
I could tell y'all some stories.
So, but
oh my goodness.
But now, you know, this pool is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And we are becoming more and more resolute because we all, like you say, have a story of something that was just totally something we should not have done. And it's the pool is getting smaller. What we'll tolerate is getting smaller. And at some point, you know, do we continue to do the same things? Do we change our standards?
I mean, it's not even just about that. Like, the pool is smaller, but like as people get older, they've done more things and they've had good and bad experiences. So it could be like the person who you never thought would cross over into criminal land, but they have. So now you have to worry about, is this person a scammer? Like, you know, I'm in a relationship with this person, or I think I am. They seem to check all the boxes, but I got to worry if they're going to steal my social security number,
my ID.
You know, my ID. I don't, you know, it's just so many other things to worry about. Like, do they know how to recalibrate if things don't go their way? Are they going to, you know, burn the crib down, slice my tires up? You know, are they going to kidnap me? I don't know. You have to just, they're going to cut me up and sell my organs. I don't know. It's just so many different things. There's so much terrible stuff out here. You don't know. You just don't know what people will do.
I totally
The setup
agree.
game is real.
It is.
And I mean, obviously, if we had a time machine, we could go back and we would know what we wanted, and we would be able to kind of do all of those things. But we are left with what is now the residual, and we know we had the information. We know what we want. We know what good looks like. We see when bad is coming. But again, it's just so few people that are even available. And a good
Because what, like most of them are married? Is that what you're thinking?
or married or in a situationship or and I mean it's not even about a person. A person might not be available. We talked earlier about somebody that they're not even really removed from their past situation. So they're eligible technically
Right.
on paper,
Right.
but they are in fact single.
But not here.
But the heart, they don't have the
Right.
they don't have the bandwidth to give the heart at this
Yeah.
point. So that's that's somebody impinging on the pool. That's somebody that's making what's very small, minute
So
at this
there
point.
may be a good person, but like she said, they're really not eligible. They're not dating.
They're
Their eligibility for dating is not there.
yeah.
And honestly, to be honest, I do feel this way, and I probably have always felt this way. Anytime you get into a relationship with someone who A, has just had a child, or B, just got divorced, C, just broke up with someone, if you venture to get involved with that person, you're playing with fire. So
what do
if
mean
they
just
leave
got
you-
divorced, like within the past what?
If it's not over a year,
Okay.
it's a great possibility that they aren't done. And maybe they haven't had any contact, but it's a great possibility they'll go back.
So
you have to give people time.
So if I met somebody and they had just gotten out of a relationship at 6 months, can we date for 6 months and then move on to something more? Or when they say that it's 6 months, I'm like, come back and see me in 6 months. How does that work?
What? So if you were
There was
dating,
a lot in there.
yeah, say it again.
So if I meet a person and they're just coming out of a relationship,
Got that.
so they're at 6 months. Should I wait 6 months and we try to reconvene?
They've been out of a relationship for 6 months.
Yes, and using her 1 year analogy.
I mean,
no, that was a 1 year for a marriage, though, right? Is that
It
what you're
was
saying?
or a relationship
Oh,
or
okay.
whatever it was. If
Okay.
it's
A
just
situationship.
if it's still brand new like that, I would say don't jump in with your head first. I would say tread lightly, take it slow if you must date them. You know what I mean, and just keep your eyes and ears
Okay.
open.
So
I think 6 months being out of a relationship is long enough.
Okay.
I mean, a relationship, a dating relationship. I do.
what about a marriage?
I think that you need to give that person more time.
Okay. And that's fair. And I mean, you all are really pointing out that, hey, this is what works for me, or this is my purview. And I think that that's so important because we do understand what we want. And something that, might drown the hell out of me, you could swim right through, or vice versa.
Right.
So, and I think that that's important because a lot of times we base things on.
But can I just give like an
No,
addendum
please.
to this? But if it was a long-term relationship, like something that Janae has with her guy,
Mm-hmm.
like 11 years, and she's only been out of a relationship for 6 months, if I were a guy meeting her, I would be like, yeah, no. I'm going to let you
Hey.
marinate on your
Hey.
singleness for a little. I'll come back. I'll circle back to you. I wouldn't want to be bothered with that either.
Don't do that. Don't speak for guys. Janae fine as hell.
No, I
We
said-
running with all of that.
I
Janae,
said I would.
6 months ain't a year, 3 days, 4 hours, whatever. You need a ride. Guys ain't really rocking like that.
I
Guys
said
like
I wouldn't want to date somebody who had been 11 years with somebody and only been out of it for 6 months. I would be like, yeah, no,
her name in college was fine ass Janae.
yeah, that's not the point.
And I don't mean to make this about you.
But no, I mean, again,
Guys ain't rocking like that.
they probably are, and they're
Probably
gonna try
not.
to shoot a shot
Because
That's-
guys
Yeah.
are visual.
That's normal.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Guys ain't
Yeah.
we ain't
Yeah.
going as a species.
No.
But again, like Kim said, if you're in something, if you're in a marriage, if you're in a long-term relationship, and you only been out here in the world for 6 months, whoever's meeting you needs to be like, "Are you sure?" You know what I mean?
Right,
And still,
exactly.
even if you say yes, they should still be like, "I don't know."
Sure.
Right? I don't know. And just to put it out there, I circled the block. Oh yeah, I'm not single anymore. I'm back in my 11-and-a-half-year relationship. But yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
But it
Park.
but I mean, again, you know, even if we were to look at that situation, you know this person, you know that it's a good situation.
Yeah.
So you know, you're like, okay, I actually know one good person, and you do that, and I mean, and that's beautiful. That's how it should really work. But that pool, as we get older, that pool gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
It definitely
Yeah.
does.
And we have to, you know, and I think that a lot of my motivation in wanting to have this question was, you know, do we do that? Do we do some things that we might not have normally done? Do we look at things differently? Do we see things differently? At what point, the even bigger question, at what point do we say, you know, man, I need somebody to match my work, so let me adjust this based on who I am, not who I think I am, but who I actually am.
I mean, one should always be true to themselves, and like, even if you're in a relationship with somebody else, you have to first be good with yourself. Like, you have to be good with you.
I mean,
You should be good with you.
there is a lot of truth to that, but I think that a lot of times we can have inflated.
Sense of self.
Yes. And I don't want to say it in a negative way, but sometimes, you know, we see ourselves through rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
And we don't, you know, it's hard to self-scout. And I don't think that always happens. And I think that, you know, sometimes when we're looking at other things or what we want at other people, we also have to look at, you know, we know what we tend to know what we want, but what are we offering? What's good about this? What's good about me?
So are we really good? Are we really eligible? Where do we fall in the pool?
Right. Or, you know, man, this is, you know, yeah, exactly. Where do we fall in it? What are we offering somebody? What are we, because you're gonna attract what you put out there at the end of the day. Even if it's perceptual, what you perceive yourself to be, you're going to attract that. But at some point, you're going to be who you are. And when you are who you are, is that enough to keep that person that you have, you know, they have fallen for your perceptual self?
So you and I have had this conversation before, and I'm going to say it again. And I know that you guys don't really agree with me. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but I know that you were saying we're energy, and we are energy. We're balls of energy, and you were saying that we are. What did you say? We attract. What we are.
We attract. We attract what we put out there.
And I say, it's who we entertain. Is who we are. It's so because
It's who we entertain. That's who we are.
So we had talked of a few.
Yeah, I
maybe
want
a
to talk
couple
about it.
months
I want to
ago.
understand right now.
So I'm trying. So Gary had said before, and he kind of intimated it this time. He said, "We are who we attract," and I said, "We are who we entertain." And because we attract a number of people, different people. But it's who we entertain that's who we really are. Who we choose to allow into our space is who we really are. It's not who I attract. I attract a lot of different types of people. As do you. But it's who we choose is who we really are.
So
you understand what I'm saying?
So you're establishing control. I mean,
it's
the attraction is what you put out there, but not every.
Who I like, the things that I value. That's who I really am.
I guess he said before that women do the choosing, so I guess it kind of goes hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. But she's saying that not everybody gets to the two. She's saying that not everybody gets to the $200 prize round. She can attract a person, but it's who she chooses to entertain.
That's who I really am. It's not because I attract different types of people.
Okay.
As we all do, but it's so the people that I attract aren't necessarily a reflection of who I am.
Did you disagree with this?
No.
Yes, you both did.
I don't think anybody really understood what you were saying before.
Okay.
I think
Okay,
that was
so,
the real
yeah, it's-
issue.
yeah,
but
it's
I'm
just-
trying to understand. Did you disagree with that?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't disagree with that.
Neither do I.
Oh, okay, because you guys vehemently
Well, I
disagreed
think you did a
before.
better job of communicating.
okay.
Thank you.
No, but I mean,
But yeah, it
you
makes
know,
sense.
I certainly believe that, you know, we attract what we put out there. And then to Kim's point, you know, you should have some agency over who you entertain. I get that. And I think that that's right. Am I stating it correctly?
Well, I mean, you do have. It's not that we have agency over who we entertain. I'm just saying that it is. The conversation was before, and I think it was you were kind of leaning into it this time. Is you are who you attract, and I was saying we are not who we attract. It's who we entertain. That's who we are.
Okay.
Now, how does it relate to what we're talking about now?
No, he was referring, and I was just saying I didn't agree with that again. So
Okay.
he had mentioned it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, in a minute,
I
I'm
want
understand.
to. I want to do. I want to do a hypothetical
Okay.
with you all. So you know, you all have a lot of friends. You're very popular people. So if you had a girlfriend that was like, "Hey, introduce me to one of your guy friends," and he had to be a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have 4 names, 5 names that you could come up with?
No.
No. Probably,
2?
honestly, because we don't have a lot of guy friends.
I don't
like
have
that.
a-
Okay, so let's
That's
flip
the
it.
first thing.
So let's
Yeah.
flip it. You know, one of your good friends moves in from out of town, and they're like, "Hey, do you know any good guys?"
Say that again. Like, what's the difference between?
No. It's one of your guy friends asks. One of your guy friends moves in from out of town.
Ask to meet a girlfriend.
Yes.
Oh, I would have many more.
Same. But she's right. We don't have a lot of guy
We don't.
friends.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of guys, but I don't have a lot of guy friends.
Right.
I know a lot of guys. I know a lot of girls. I don't know a lot. If you know, the criteria was that it had to be a really good person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a lot of my guy friends that are truly single that are also truly good guys. It has been my experience that my friends that are truly single, somebody kind of just swoops in, or they end up back in some sort of relationship, situationship, marriage, what have you.
Yeah.
I don't know people because those kind of people just don't. They're high value. They don't stay on the market a long time.
So I've been in a situation before in the past that someone would have tried to hit on me, and I'm like, I'm not single, but I have a friend who you might be interested in, and you know that kind. I can give you some names of some people, but yeah, I'm not the one. I mean, but even with that person, I would be honest, be like, I don't really know him like that. You know what I mean? I can't put the seal, of approval on there because I don't really know this dude. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that.
Well, I mean, in those situations, I'm always qualified. It has been my experience
Yeah.
that I know this person to be a good person, what have you, and that's all you can ever say because you truly don't know a person on that level. In most cases, you know what you see, you know what they want you to
Yeah.
see, you know a little bit, that has been shared with you, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just one of those things that I feel like, we just got to do a better job of vetting and qualifying people.
I will vet a mofo while I'm on the phone with him. Texting somebody on the side. Do you know so and so, so and so?
As you should.
And I have.
As you should. I'm like, keep your location on,
Yeah.
I want to know what's his last name,
Yeah.
all that good stuff. You have to do a better job of vetting because good is relative, and good it can
I
be.
believe in vetting.
you
I
know.
will vet with different people. Like I need to know what high school you went to because that's our thing in Chicago.
Well, that's like the number one
Yeah.
detective move.
Yes.
Like, so
I need to
when'd you
know.
come out? Okay.
Yes, I need to know like if you're Greek, if you're in any organizations. I need to do my detective work for my safety.
It's nice to know what school people went to. Don't get me wrong. I know that's the Chicago thing. But I say this time and time again. Who you were at 16, 17, 18 is not who you are at almost 60.
No.
And there's a lot of life in between. And there's a lot of experiences and a lot of changing that people do. So you may have been the cool, nice dude. And you're a psychopath now.
But
Sociopath, not a
because-
psychopath. Not completely crazy.
Even
Well,
though-
you never
right,
know.
you never know.
Because I was getting to know someone on the phone who had this stellar resume. Stellar. Stellar.
Then I went to
But
Harvard.
But he said, no, it was Stanford.
Then I went to Stanford.
It was Stanford. And so
2 years in the Peace Corps.
He went to
Listen, it was for real.
Seriously. He said he went to Lynn Bloom class of 84. I was like, oh,
She's like, I'm just.
I knew a
playing.
third of
It's
your
all
class.
real.
I knew a third of your class. I'm texting people, do you know? Sending pictures like, do you know? Everybody's like, no. One of my girlfriends was like, do I have permission to put this picture in the Lynn Bloom class of 84 chat? It was a group me. It was like 40 people. I said, yep, but just don't tell them why you're putting it in there. Nobody knew him. You're out of here. No.
Because you're lying.
No. Yeah, you're lying.
You're
So
lying.
then when I confronted him,
And
I
who
was
lies about going to Limblom?
well, I mean, so he's lying
Joke,
about his
joke.
existence.
I know.
Like his
He's
whole,
made up a
her whole persona
yes.
that he lied about. And
So what else are you lying about?
Yeah.
Or why me? I'm not even worth a good lie. Even I mean, why would you do that to me?
But he wasn't lying to you. He was lying to
No. I'm saying.
I don't know where you're going with that.
No. I'm saying. If
Right. And more than
no, you are.
5 lies. 5
I
lies.
deserve to be lied to.
I'm worth a good lie.
No, you are not.
It'd be better.
You are
I
not
know.
sharer of truth.
It was horrible. I mean, really, I could tell you some stories. I don't want to go into too much detail, but oh my goodness, it was almost comical. The stuff I was catching him in, I was like, you know what? And he kept calling, so I just answered the phone. No, actually, I called him and was like, you know what? This isn't going to work because I can't vet you. I don't know who you are or what's going on, and
I gotta know now. What did he say?
he tried to. He was like, no. I said, no. This just isn't going to work. It's not going to work. So I had to tell him, there is no amount of convincing. I'm not sticking around. No, this
He
is not.
didn't
gonna
hit
work.
you with. I spent most of my time in the math club, and
He said
tell him, did you?
I absolutely told him.
Oh, okay.
we noticed you told him.
Yeah, and he said, no, I graduated in 3.5 years. It doesn't matter. If you were there for 3.5 years, somebody should have known you.
Well, Lindblom, and I'm going to call him out on this. You have to know everybody because if you ride public transportation, which everybody has to do the first 2 years, maybe, I might need you to save my life.
You don't have to ride public transit.
In our days, in the 80s, it was very few people that got a ride.
car.
And
What
my
about your
parents-
freshman
My
year?
parents, no, I was driven because they didn't.
Okay, but then if I live on your block or I live in your area, I'm riding too. So I'm gonna know you. I mean,
Somebody should have known them.
because it's a safety concern. My point is that it's a safety concern.
Right. That's what I told him. I said, this is not safe for me. And so he was like, well, I respect that. And, it was too many things that I went to. I got my grad degree from Stanford. Then I got my undergrad from UC. And then 2 weeks later, I got my grad degree from UC. I got my undergrad from Stanford. He was switching it. I was like, no. And because I know
I was in a
had
dual
the memory
program. I
of
was
a
at
gnat,
both.
I was typing
Right.
everything he would tell me. I would put it in the notes section of my phone because I
You
know.
would forget.
He's not even forget. So I was looking at my phone like, this Negro is lying again.
But there's
So-
also another one that I remember you telling me, not necessarily about this kind of thing, but just about finding a good person and being safe out here. Like, who's eligible? Remember the one person who you met? I'm not sure which app it was, but he was trying to get you to meet him at this weird location. I was
Yeah,
like,
at
that's
his
all
office.
industrial.
At his
Like,
office.
what? It's industrial. It's nothing over
Yeah.
there.
In Westchester, I think it was.
I was like, am I going to be in the car? Like, you can't
He
go.
wanted me to drive to Westchester to his office.
You never told me you went out with Ted Bundy.
It was kind of like that.
It was.
I mean, I'm joking, but
No,
that's crazy.
That was the vibe.
It kind of looked like Ted Bundy. Honestly, he did.
It was the vibe, though.
He-
And then when people
he-
say stuff like, you don't trust me? No, I don't know you.
he was too insistent on having me come to his office. So I'm like, I'm not going to get there and your office is lined with plastic. Like, what is...
That part.
Yeah, he did. But he did look like
You
Ted
start
Bundy.
hearing music.
So
Very
when
nice looking,
people
but-
say that, though, are
Yeah.
there any good people, any
He
eligible
was
people left?
rushing
This is for
too
real.
hard to get me to come to him. And I was like, it's not going to happen. I don't know.
I don't know
I'm
the
not coming to your
situation, but
office.
I know that sometimes a man is trying to show off when he wants you to come to him. Like, look at how I'm living. I'm not. I'm
Well,
not. I don't.
first
I
of
don't
all,
know.
I think so I think that this should be a different conversation because now that I am more because I was more closed off for about a year. I didn't really want to date, but now that I'm more putting myself out there and I'm meeting different types of people, I am finding that a lot of men don't truly know how to date. And don't really know the art of dating. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm not an etiquette coach or anything like that. But it's just the art of conversation, the art of dialogue. You talk, I talk. You talk, I talk. Some men just blah, 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 and they have not asked you a thing about yourself. They're just talking about themselves. They're talking about their exes, and it's just wow. And so I just sit there like, huh. And I went on a date, and now I'm just telling my own business. I went on a date, and this guy just talked incessantly, and I just thought, I'm leaving. I don't care what's all I had was a bowl of soup. I didn't want anything that was going to take me time to eat.
You want to give a minute?
You got 7 minutes.
No, seriously. I was like, I'm leaving at 4:00. But we met at 2, so that was a good 2 hours. And I thought, I'm leaving at 4:00. I don't care where we are in this conversation. I'm walking out of this door at 4:00. I'm going to be in my car. And I was in my car at 4:01. I cut it off. I was like, he talked about everything. And he was a very nice guy, really nice. Just wasn't for me. And I just realized, I don't know if he was nervous, but just the art of dating, he just didn't under the art of conversation. It was lost.
Let me say this about men. This, and I've said this to you all 1,000 times, this is the greatest time on earth to be a man.
Now, how does that fit what I just said?
Because you're talking about men not knowing how to date. Mm-hmm. Nothing is being required of guys in a lot of situations.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter. That's what I thought
yeah.
you were going
to. No. I would never say it doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't matter that they don't know how to date because
it doesn't matter. They're trying to learn.
Right.
Yeah, because some women just don't require.
And I mean, some women don't require is kind of in the future tense. I mean, their experience has been that, in the past tense, that nobody required anything, or very few people required anything. So
in the past?
Yeah, in the past, people come into it. Men are coming into it now like, I don't have to do nothing. I just have to wake up breathing.
I think in the past they did have requirements.
I mean, I'm talking about in the last year, 2, 3 years.
Oh, okay.
In the 90s, 2000, no, people was definitely requiring stuff. But, since 2005, ain't nobody required nothing.
Yeah.
You just got to wake up breathing. You a man? Okay.
Yeah. And apparently that was his problem. Or he just had a talking disorder.
Again, you know what you want.
I do.
You're not going to settle for less.
I will not.
So it's, that pool just gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And for that guy, I mean, there are both sexes. There are people that could just go through the rest of their life trying to figure it out. They don't necessarily have to be with somebody. The whole dating apparatus, it works for them. That's fine. I'm perfectly fine just trying to figure it all out. I get it.
Because they aren't lonely. Because there's so many to choose from. They
right.
Can just pick a name out the hat.
They don't even have to pick. I mean, again, as a man.
Because women do the choosing.
Women do the choosing.
And they're just choosing.
Choosing. You just get chose. I mean, it's just how it works.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people are probably sitting out there tonight and they're like, what do you mean women? It's not, people understand that a woman just makes herself available to your bullshit. That's all it truly ever is.
I heard someone say, I think it was a dating coach on social media somewhere, that men chase, women choose. Would you agree with that?
I would wholeheartly agree with that.
I think so too.
I mean, I agree with that too. But at the same time, I feel like there's got to be more people like you. You know what I mean? You aren't looking just to, well, you aren't looking at all right now, but I mean, back in the day, you weren't just trying to.
Oh, that's right. You're not looking living.
Right.
So this show is about me, y'all. It's all about me.
Speaking
You
to the
aren't
mic,
trying.
please.
You aren't trying just to date because you have absolutely nothing else to do, and just because someone says you're gonna be my date tonight, I'm choosing you, and you're like, okay, you know what I'm saying? She knows what she wants. There's got to be some men out there left who will say, I want to court you, I want to date you, I want to invest in you.
And so let me just say,
In this.
I am these are just my thoughts. I don't know, but I just feel like courting comes later. I think you get to know a person first, and then you decide, like, do I want to pursue this? Then that's when the courting starts. I don't expect to be courted like when I first meet someone, but I do expect common decency, not to monopolize a conversation. I expect courteous behavior, honesty.
You to be who you say you are.
Is that
Correct. Yeah.
that part?
So yeah.
Yeah.
At any rate, it's been an hour, and we're
Yeah.
sorry to talk your ears off, but that's what we do. We're conversations.
That's right. Hot
We
topic.
appreciate you. Thank you.
We do.
Okay, guys, we're going to wrap it here, but remember the 26th of October is our next in-person, and it is Movie Phone.
1000 Lake Street, Oak Park, Illinois.
All right,
From
guys.
4 to 7 p.m.
We'll have the Eventbrite link up for you, and we can't wait to see
We'll have lots of delicious food.
Yum, yum.
Lots.
Are we getting it from where I think we're getting it from?
Bill?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, please. I hope we do.
Yes.
He is such a good chef.
Chef Bill.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, people.
Thank you for tuning in.
Have a great night. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
All right.
Drop
Like,
your comments.
subscribe,
Let us know what you think
comment.
about tonight's topic.
And share.
Yay.
Shut us down, Janelle. I'm going to go without these.